there, everybody. It's Allison. As by popular request, I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on cabaret-style makeup for belly dance performance. To start off with, belly dance performance makeup is really heavy, so yes, it will look a little strange if you're not on stage, but it's so that your facial features can show up more. This is a cabaret-style look, so for tribal, if you have any questions, ask me. But I'm going to try and cover everything, and if you have any questions, let me know. So, first things first, hair out of the way. It tends to get into your makeup and cause problems, so ta-da! Hair is all out of the way. Now I can worry about what's on my face and not what's covering it. So, first things first, foundation. I personally use a really light foundation. You can kind of tell. Because I don't have a lot of blemishes or anything. I have thankfully very nice skin. But if you need more coverage, go ahead. So what I do is I just squirt out a little, and then I use a foundation brush, like a YouTuber, to just apply it to my whole face. And for day-to-day makeup, I wouldn't usually do this, but for stage makeup, it's important. And what I like to do after this sort of step is use a big fluffy brush to blend it all out so there's no brush marks or anything that looks funny. Alright, so the next step is optional. You don't have to do it if you're not comfortable with it, but personally I think it helps a lot with making your makeup more obvious, which is surprisingly a good thing for stage makeup. So it's contouring, which is all the rage right now. But also you could use this step for cover up for any sort of blemishes or anything you have. Like I have a few zits up on my forehead and along my chin, so I'm going to use my regular skin tone cover up to cover those, and then I'll go in with highlighter up along the cheekbones, bridge of the nose, and the forehead, and a little on the chin, and then a slightly darker skin tone along underneath my cheekbones, and along the sides of my nose, and up along my hairline and under my chin to deepen the contour. I also have a powder bronzer that I use over the top of that just so it pops a little bit more. So now I kind of look a bit like a clown, but I'm going to use my big fluffy brush again to blend it out. Also, if you're one of those people that uses a beauty blender, this would be the time to use it. So that's the just general base. Also during this step, if you want, some people don't really like the idea of blush because they feel like they blush enough naturally. Personally, I don't wear blush frequently, but sometimes for big shows it helps to just take a little blush, whatever color you think is best on you. I tend to go with lighter pinks because it's what goes with my skin tone, and put just up along the top of the cheekbone. And for Bellydance, if it has some shimmer in it, more sparkle the better. And then something that I also include under the base steps is eyebrows. Now, you may not regularly fill your brows because you may feel like you have dark brows to begin with. I have dark colored eyebrows, but my eyebrows can be a little thin. And with the heaviness of the rest of the makeup that you're wearing on your face, as well as the brightness of the stage lights, it's important to darken your eyebrows so that they show up. Otherwise, they disappear and you look a little alien-y. It's not a word, alien. Anyways, so I use a really dark pencil, but you can also use an angled sort of liner style brush and dark powder. If you have any questions on this, let me know about finding where your arch is and then how dark it should be and how penciled in you should make yours. Just let me know. But I do mine with pencil because I think it looks best on me. See? Much better. It looks a little dark right now, but that's because I don't have my eyes done yet. So the next step is eyes. So if you want to put on like an eyelid primer or something, you can do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't really need this to last me right now. But for a show, it would help to just make sure it stays in place and doesn't go melting all over your face while you're dancing. So first step is going to be to put in the lightest shades first and then get progressively darker. and then finally do eyeliner and mascara. So the first step, I use a very light, kind of like chubby crayon-esque product. You could also use like a light shimmery powder, or even like a like white eyeliner can also be useful for this. But you want to apply this to the inner corner of your eye and pretty much your entire eyelid all the way up to the eyebrow, because this will bring light to your eyes. So next, what you're going to want to do is to put in your primary color. So because I know the costumes, at least this semester, are mainly purple, I'm going to be doing a purple look because that's what's relevant. But you could also do this with any color you wanted, or if you wanted to be really dark and sultry, you could just go with blacks and silvers and maybe a bronze or a gold. Whatever matches your costume best, or whatever you think looks best with your skin tone. So I'm going to use this color right here. It's called Hollywood. Woohoo! But it's a very like dark purple. It's also pretty bright too. There's not really much shimmer to it, but we'll fix that later. So what I do is I'm going to take a flat kind of rounded edge brush like this and like really load it up with the color. And then I'm going to press that onto my eyelid. Now, this might be different for you because of your eye shape. Different eye shapes need different eyeshadow shapes to look more dramatic. So like if you have hooded eyes, or if you have less of an eyelid, it can be different for you. So Google what your eye shape is, and that will give you a hint as to what shape your eyeshadow should take to look the most dramatic. I have big eyes, so it's good I can do the tutorial. So I'm just taking a lot of this color and pressing it onto my eyelid, almost focusing a little more towards the crease of the eyelid as opposed to close to the lash line. And I'm not really extending it too far past like where my smile lines go, because I don't want it to like go down my face, and I want it to go up so I can uplift my features. Do this on the other side. Alright, so I got my purple done. Very dark, heavy, but it's going to get darker and heavier because this is Bellydance makeup and we want it to be dramatic. So what I'm going to do next is take a pure black eyeshadow. Mine doesn't have any shimmer in it, it's just a matte black, but you can use any kind that has a shimmer or whatever you have in your makeup set. So then I'm going to take my like flat angled almost eyeliner brush and load that up, and then draw a line, almost like a cat eye line on each side. And you don't really want it to extend too much further past the end of your eyebrow, but it can go about that far out. So now I'm going to take more black and draw along the first like half of the purple shape that we made earlier, making sure it comes to a point. And then I'm going to take it again and go in along a lash line. And also underneath. So now I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to go over to a smaller fluffy brush, I guess, kind of, and use that to blend the black and the purple together and soften that out a little. Alright, almost done, with the eyes at least. So the final step is I'm going to take some glitter. I have purple glitter. And I'm just going to take a little bit of it and dab it right in the center of the eye and then up along the brow bone. Alright, so that's it for eyeshadow and stuff. Next is eyeliner. I use liquid. If you're not comfortable with liquid, you can use a pencil. Or you can just not wear eyeliner. It's kind of dark enough as it is, but I personally think eyeliner helps with the eyelash look. So I'm going to apply a cat eye eyeliner. You could also do like a traditional bar or just a regular eyeliner if that's what you're comfortable doing. But I'm going to do a cat eye. Alright, so the next step is optional. It's really only for big performances if it's something that you're feeling comfortable with. It's false eyelashes. Personally, I think that they make the look a lot more dramatic, but it's not required whatsoever. So I have my eyelash glue, and I have some cute little eyelashes. So I'm going to put those on. Alright, so the final step, which is not optional for anybody, sorry, is mascara. Mascara is very important because it kind of opens your eyes a lot and makes them a lot more obvious. So I personally use a mascara primer. That's not required. I just have it and I think it makes my mascara better. But I'm going to do that and then I'm just going to use my regular mascara. Alright, so now our eyes are done. So the next thing, which is highly recommended but not necessary as well, is lips. You can just do a clear gloss. You could do a nude lipstick, but personally I believe that a bright lip stands out better on stage and it looks better to the audience. So I'm going to use a kind of a purpley pinky lipstick. It's just a standard lipstick. I think it was 95 cents at Rite Aid. But I want to be really careful about making sure my line is really sharp and that I don't really overline my lips too much because it'll look a little clowny, and I already look clowny enough as it is. I don't need to look more clowny. So. Alright, so now, especially with a bright lip like this, I think it's really important to go back around your edges with your concealer so that you get a really sharp line and you don't have any smudges. So finally, I like to go over everything with a gloss that just kind of keeps it in place and keeps me from like licking and moving my lips around too much. That way it won't get smudgy. Also makes them nice and shiny. Alright, so finally, I like to use a setting powder just to make sure everything stays in place while I'm dancing. I use the same fluffy brush from before, and this is just translucent powder. It doesn't have color, doesn't have anything really to it. You can also use it to set lipstick if that's something your lipstick needs. But it just kind of sets everything in place, so even when you're sweating and dancing and shimmying up a storm, you'll still have perfect makeup. So I believe that's everything. This is just a general cabaret look. It has taken me just around a half an hour, which is why we always show up early to shows so we can work on our makeup. If you're interested in tribal style makeup, or maybe some of the smaller pieces like what I use specifically, or what I did with the false eyelashes, which I'm not going to show because it's not necessary, just ask me in person, or since this is going to go on YouTube, put it in the comments below. I feel like Jenna Marbles. Anyways, if you want me to do a different tutorial with maybe a slightly different style or a different color or something like that, just ask me and I will see what I can do. So shimmies everybody. Good luck.